Welcome to the show!
Are you lighting dumpsters on fire?
Last night was bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot!
He's like, oh, it was great. We used to live in the subway tunnels.
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming to you alone in this intro, because we don't have a new episode this week. Holidays and everything like that. Everybody was out of town. We couldn't get together. So instead, what we did is we cut together some of our best stories from some of our favorite guests from the year. 2022 was a great year. We really appreciate you all listening. If you're new to the pod, we love it. If you've been with us for the whole ride or most of it, we love you even more. Okay, we really appreciate you guys being here and listening, and we got some fun stuff planned for 2023. We're really looking forward to taking you guys along for the ride. I think you guys will dig this episode. If you've been listening to all of the episodes, you probably have heard these stories already, but it's some of our favorites. I went through and we plucked out some of our favorite guests. If you're interested in if you're listening or watching, I'm going to put the name of every guest who tells the story in order below in the descriptions. So just check that out. Go and follow those guys. I'm going to put their Instagrams and everything. Go and give them a follow. And if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, give us a 5-star review. It really helps out, and it helps with the algorithm or whatever, all that jazz. It helps people listen, helps people see it. So that would be great. If a little 5 stars, say, hey, we love the pod. We love it. Leave a little comment. Goes a long way. That's pretty much it. That's all I had to say. So we're going to get right into the episode. Give us a follow on Instagram, all that stuff. Rate, review, and subscribe. We love you, baby. Let's get into it. Oh, that's brutal.
I had a teacher try and bang me. I was one of those kids.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot of
Female?
this. Can you tell the story?
Cool. Yeah. I'll tell the story is she was just a cool teacher. She was probably like 34. So she wasn't super old. She didn't have the you know what I mean, when they eventually get
start to go.
She didn't have any of that. She didn't have a wing yet. And she was just a cool teacher. I had her for math, and then I was in student government, so I could kind of like come in late and be like, oh, I was planning an assembly, but I was just, walking around school. And then I graduated. I don't know how she got my number, but she texted me one day and said she had a dream about me with a wink. And like old school pre-emoji wink. So it wasn't like an accident.
So this is after graduation. You're 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm 18.
And she's like 35, 36,
35.
Okay.
Yeah, she has 2 kids. She has a husband.
Oh, my God.
And I remember getting the text and like dropping the phone because I was like, this is like what everybody wants. But I was so stunned. And I went along with it for a little bit because I was nervous. I was awkward with women until I was like 24, I would say.
Yeah.
And she texted me for months about these dreams.
Stop.
And she would never tell me the full dream, but it would always be like a wink. And I'd be like, all right.
And you're texting her back like
I'd be
kind
like,
of...
tell me about this dream. I probably wasn't doing that good of a job. I can't imagine being 34 and texting an 18-year-old and I'm up to par with like, sexting.
You're like, were we planning the prom?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
What electives did I sign up for?
What was the theme? So texting for months?
Texting for a couple of months. I worked at a yogurt shop. And then one day she comes in. It's a slow day. She pulls up. She gets out of the car. She has her child, like a 3-year-old child, a wife beater, brand new boobs, implants. Where they're like still frozen.
Wow.
She comes in with no bra, and I'm like, all right. Well, she obviously wants to show me these. So I was like, okay, play it cool. So you got to mention the tits. And then she gets her yogurt. As she's leaving, I said, hey, did you get a haircut? And then she was like, no. And I was like, well, something's different. And then she came up to me, and she's like, we should go to a hotel tomorrow. And I was like, let's do it. And then
get out of here.
She texted me the next day. I was friends with another kid, big, like super strict genius kid.
Yeah.
Was not down. And then we got the text, and she was with another teacher at the hotel, and they invited us both over. We hung out in the lazy river for like a few hours. And
with them?
Yeah. And she was like, look at these tits. And I was like, oh my God. I was just freaking out the whole time. And then she got to the point where she was like, I have alcohol in my room. So she invited us to the room. I don't know what we said. That part of the story is gone in my brain. I think we I just remember getting out of the pool and being like, well, I don't think we're having sex. I don't know if we said something that screwed it up.
Holy
and then
shit.
We go home, and then the next day, the husband starts cussing me out on Facebook. And, I was 18, so I was just like, your fucking wife dreams about me, you fucking asshole. Fuck you. Eat my dick. And he started coming at me for a while, which is understandable. He just went through his phone, probably suspecting his wife's cheating on him with a man. And then he maybe Googles me, and my high school yearbook picture comes up, swim team captain.
Wow.
And, so I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Good luck with your wife. And then I found out she was texting this to a bunch of kids.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
My
It was me.
God.
I wasn't just the only kid. She was trying to meet every kid. I think she was probably... I think you know when you work with somebody and you're like, they get hotter over time?
Yeah.
I think that's just what happened to her with teaching. I think eventually you're like, yeah, I could, 17's not bad.
Oh, my God. So she was she hitting up everybody like after they graduated or like people
I think both. I think
Wow.
during. I think it's just if you were a kid that she liked, she would text you.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. And
So
I only-
nothing ever
I saw
happened?
her once after. It was at a
Eh.
grocery store. And
What,
she
did
was just like,
anything?
how are things? And I was like, good. And she just left.
You should have been like, I can drink now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm allowed to drink.
I always, I wonder if she ever banged anybody. I feel like she had to have.
Do you follow her on Facebook?
I tried to find her, but I can't find her.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find her.
Wow. Oh, man.
And so it's like I could have been there, but I don't know. I mean, I would have. I had ED even as a kid when I got. I was a nervous. You ever get too nervous to get it up? Nobody.
No.
Oh man.
But hey,
that was,
listen,
that was
probably
my whole childhood.
some people.
I mean, I would. I think I was cute enough to have girls interested in me, but it would always not work.
Swim team captain, dude.
Yeah, was a captain, was a student government VP.
Dude, that's great. I forgot. Yeah, you mentioned that's a great story, dude.
It's nuts.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's the dream for everybody.
Yeah, I know. It was like I got a golden ticket and I was too afraid to show up to the chocolate factory. Though. It was just like, God, I got to the gates and panicked.
You're like, what if there's too much chocolate and I just can't handle it all.
It was wild that another teacher was in on it too.
Yeah, that is that's kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. That might be the worst thing. To find out that your significant other is not only cheating on you, but with a child.
I don't know what I would. I think you'd have to leave, right? I think they stayed together.
I mean,
That's a dangerous position for her because he can actually get you. Like, normally when your wife cheats on you, you're kind of screwed. You can be like, yeah, he was 18. You were feeding him alcohol. You're going to jail.
where I'm taking the kids, I'm taking everything. You're
Yeah.
going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail, miss. Well, I shouldn't say her last name.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you never know. She
I thought
might
it was-
listen, dude.
Yeah, I thought she was I was a good kid though. I didn't tell on her. When I was in high school, kids were telling on their teachers. Do you remember that?
Wait,
that was always on the news.
really?
If a
Oh,
teacher
yeah, yeah,
banged,
yeah.
it would always be like he told. And I was like, I would never tell.
Well, I think they wouldn't tell necessarily. They would tell the friends, and then friends would be talking
you're
about
right.
it. So-and-so's parent overhears someone,
right.
and then is like, and then your parents confront you about it, and you're like, I guess it happened.
I fucked her.
It's usually a social media leak. They send a text
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. And then they get screenshot.
You know what I mean? Then eventually she made me hit her with my car.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this
Classic broad made me hit her with the car.
Oh, no.
Never ends with them.
Dude, what? You hit her with your car?
Oh, she sort of lunged at it with a lock and chain, like.
Oh, yeah,
I've actually seen
God.
this happen with a crazy girl who like jumped in front of a car, but the way it happened, there was guys, we didn't see their lights were off in a parking lot across the way. So from their point of view, all they seen was us. I was not driving. I wasn't even involved. And hit this girl who actually did jump. She was psychotic. Jumped in front of a car. And I was like, when they came over, I'm like, this is not going to go well.
Listen, if you hit anybody, it's not your fault. That's
No,
it's
these-
pretty much.
It can be their fault. It's hard to explain to people who haven't seen it happen, but like, these people they're out of their mind.
Can I try to explain?
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
psychopath destroyed my apartment a week before,
Yeah.
assaulted me. We came back from lunch one day. I came too quick, which is not even a slight. You know what I mean? I won. You know what I mean? Like, she busting my balls. I said, "No, what? Get the fuck out of here. I'm done hearing you saying about me coming too quick." You know, like, so like the next day, she's like, "I'm coming to get my bike." I'm like, "You're not coming here destroying my apartment." We were fighting.
Yeah.
So I go, I throw a bike in the back. I bring it to a place. I come up. She was a psychopath. She looked like a Marvel character. She had this like velvet cape on with a bikini, blowing in the wind, and like I'm like taking the bike out, and now she's running towards my car. I'm like, she's gonna grab my phone. She takes the keys and threw them over the fence. She was renting the side basement apartment, so she had that driveway. Then it was like an L shape, like a Tetris piece on a big sprawling old Rockaway house. And so she threw it in the yard. The guy had a bull mastiff and a Rottweiler. So now I'm walking towards the back. She's like, yeah. She's rattling the fence. Attack. I'm like, fuck. I'm looking at her. I'm looking at the fence. I'm like, my UPS instincts came out. I'm like, I know dogs. I'm good with dogs. So I open the fence. I'm like, good boys. They come running up from the side, just start licking me. I'm like, all right. So I settled that for her. Now I got to find the keys in this sprawling yard. I find the keys. I come back. The psychopath locked the gate, and I had such adrenaline. I looked at her. I grabbed the top of the fence. It was like 6-7 foot. I wish I was on video. One leap. I grabbed it. So now I'm running to my car. And she's fumbling with the lock, and like it's like a white, like, you know, in a scary movie, like start the car. I couldn't start the car. The fucking chain was, and like now she's walking to the car like Michael Myers, real slow. She opens the door. I get his car started. I drop into like second gear. I go. It's a dead end street because she lives like right by this marina. So I turn around. She has like steam coming out of her nose with the lock and chain, like the Chicago Bull mascot. She comes up. She starts hitting the light of my car. I'm like, what the fuck? I reverse back. Now my Madden instincts kick in. I see a little light to the left, so I L2 and I juke left. She lunges at the car. Boom. I look her in the mirror. She gets up, and I see her in the mirror going like this, like, I'm gonna get you. Like, you know what I mean? In the rearview mirror. I'm like, I blow the stop sign. I'm like, yo, I don't even drink or do blow anymore. I'm hitting bitches with my car. You know what I mean?
Jesus, dude.
So I got home. I fucking threw all my shit in my bike, like just supplies for the day. I got the fuck out of there, and then she wrote all these lies about me on my door and the side of my car and marked it.
Did she call the police?
Nah, she just destroyed my shit.
Hey, listen, it could have been worse.
But
it
then
could have been worse.
Then we were done. I was done at that point. And then she's like, all week trying to get my attention. Then Friday said she was going to harm herself. So I had to go there. Oof. I go there. Of course, we fucked. The next day, I'm a new person. She put her little miniature pincher that would drive around and sell weed with in the car. I love this dog. And she put it out in the yard. The bull mastiff opened that back gate and they killed the dog.
Get the fuck out.
Like, you don't fuck with life. You don't say, I'm going to take my life to get me to come there. I'm a good person. Like, I know I just said I hit someone in my car, but she fuck that. I was a good person. And like, then you sacked the guards or whoever took your dog because you said you got me there by saying you're going to take your life. And then that's a chain of events.
Damn.
Yeah, then I had to sit there with the dead dog. She's hugging it in the shower. It was like traumatic.
Dude, that's a full-on nightmare.
Oh my God. Bull Mastiff just fucking eating a little. Oh.
Yeah, they're a big dog, dude.
His name's Meat?
Yeah, we all call him Meat. Big
Is
weightlifter.
that for weightlifting or because
weightlifter?
He's gay?
Nah, well, I don't know. He used to measure. I quit hanging out with the kid when we were younger because when you go to his house, he would have you measure your penis on his wall.
Oh, come on.
Everybody would have their name.
Come on.
They'd have their name wrote next to his penis. Yeah.
What?
It'd be like John. John had the biggest one. I forgot. I'm like, dude, that can't be real. Like, he had to stretch it out or something. But I quit hanging with the kids.
Clear signs. There was all the signs were there.
Did you ever measure on the wall?
No, I quit hanging out with them. I'm like,
I'm
not
doing
gonna.
that either,
I
dude.
thought it was all made up. It was like 8 or 9 names.
Dude.
And I'm like, you guys are just pulling a prank on me. And I found out later in life they were for real.
Oh, dude, that's weird.
This is right after, I think I told you this. I had an altercation on the train. As I get off the train, like 2 minutes before I see these guys, I get off the train, the next car over, there's all these like young kids, like 12, 13, 14-year-olds, like at like midnight on the train, you know, good parenting. And they're sitting there, and I walk off with my backpack. So my backpack's like pulling my shirt tight, and this like fucking 13-year-old kid looks at me and looks at like my profile, and he goes, "Hey man," and I was like, I look, and he goes, "You better take care of them titties."
Cut to the bone.
I'd rather get mugged.
And literally,
that happen to
dude, I literally watched the doors close, and this kid was like, fuck you. And I was just like, you son of a bitch.
Oh,
Dude, I thought about that, and then I walked out of the station right in between these two guys, and the guy goes, why the fuck are you looking at me? I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was like a full moon.
Dude.
The other thing is, you can't even. It's so funny.
So I did want to talk to you about things that you've seen, dude, from doing. Excuse me, what?
Oh, excuse me, what was wild. So
Yeah.
it was a man on the street show for anybody that doesn't know. And
I didn't even have to tell you to do that. I just jumped right in.
We would specifically go to like very fringe groups, gatherings, parties, all that type of stuff. Real redneck stuff. Conspiracy theorists, like crazy music festivals, just Trump rallies, whatever. So like one of my
Juggalos, that kind of shit.
Juggalos, yeah. We went to the Gathering of the Juggalos. Juggalos are fans of Insane Clown Posse, and they have a big concert every year called the Gathering of the Juggalos. And they're all like big, they're fat, they wear face paint, and they do a lot of whippets and stuff. They're real like pieces of shit. They're nice people. They were very nice to me, but they're like,
I feel like in another world, Mike could have been a juggalo.
oh, you're so far off.
like right.
So far
There's a
off.
weird split.
the
like,
closest
he could have
thing
done
we know
it.
to a juggalo is that guy Big T.
Oh.
And
He does have a
he
podcast.
ain't a juggalo at all.
No, he's more put together than
If I was to describe juggalos, I'd be like if Mountain Dew was a person.
Yes, exactly.
You know?
They're obsessed with that drink Faygo.
Faygo.
They
Yeah.
drink Faygo. So there was a guy there, and he had a sign and said, and he was charging people money to kick him in the nuts. And he said,
Oh, yeah, that
if
makes
I
sense.
flinch or if I grimace, he goes, I have to stay still and not change my facial expression. He goes, you get whatever amount of money you want to bet on it. And dude, people were taking running wind-up kicks, double or nothings. The guy never broke one iota, dude.
Dude, he's gonna have medical problems down the road. Seriously.
Dude, I
can't
watched
do
a
that.
lady like take a running like soccer kick, like she was like Ronaldo kicking a free kick straight to the nuts. Dude, ice.
Yo, maybe he doesn't have balls.
Yeah,
He-
maybe-
dude, no,
That's
no.
the only.
You'd
they got
think that
removed.
he pulled him out and showed
Oh,
us his
that's
balls
even
because
worse.
people started calling him out and said, "Dude, you don't even have nuts." And he pulled him out. He goes, "You want to?" He goes, "Here they are, right here, full on pair of nuts, dude." I saw the guy's balls. I can verify he has 2 testicles.
You want to give him some plugs for the on the pod?
Yeah, I wish we could, dude. If you're
His
watching,
Instagram
shout out
is
to
just
you and your
like-
balls of steel.
Steel balls.
There was another guy who's like saw we had a camera. So these people when they're real wild, they want to perform
Yeah.
on camera. So this one guy was like, "Yo, man, watch this!" And he runs over to the field, and this big crowd gathers, and he lays down on the ground, and his buddy pulls his pants on his stomach. His buddy pulls his pants down, and he shoves a bottle rocket in his ass. They light the bottle rocket, and he goes, "Gathering of the Juggalos 2020, baby," like that. And then they light the bottle rocket, and I'm like, "Oh, it's gonna like." Dude, it was like a dud. It just exploded all over his ass
man.
cheeks. It was like just like exploding. It was unbelievable. He's like, you think he's gonna go woo? And he like blows out, and he goes woo, ow, 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 just like freaking out.
Dude.
And then after this, is how great these people are. After you're like, you want to be like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Before I can even say anything, he goes, "Did you get the footage?"
Oh my god! What a great shot, dude! What a great shot!
Oh, it was amazing.
What a great guy!
It was amazing.
Did you hold on? Did you kick the guy in the nuts?
No,
I would have been
I
nervous
couldn't
too.
do it.
It would hurt me inside. To do
I
that.
can't do that to a person. Also, it's like, what if you are physically harming him, even if you can't feel it? Like medical problems. Like
Dude, you can't. How much of that can you take?
before it's gonna fuck something up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I knew a kid. I've heard stories like, kid's little brother, they were laying down watching TV, and the guy, got up to get some milk or cookies or whatever, stepped on his brother's balls. That was it. That ball was gone. They had to remove it. Dude, it's not like
Ball was gone.
it was over.
on his brother's balls.
Yeah.
Dude, another one was there was a festival on Bolivar Beach, Texas, in the Gulf.
Okay.
Big ass beach. It was called Tits Out for Trump, and it was a
Hilarious.
giant Trump party. We get there, and it is like the giant pickup trucks and 4-wheelers. I'm talking like 20,000 people, and every 4-wheeler, every truck, giant Trump flag. And you walk by, and you'd be like, "Woo!" And people are like, "Woo, go Trump!" And the girls like pull their tits out, and they're like, "Yeah, go Trump, baby, go Trump!" Like, dude, like 20,000 pairs of like fairly obese tits. Bolivar Beach, Texas.
This spring break, I think we're the cruise.
Yeah, dude.
Right?
I'll
Where
be
we're
there,
going.
dude.
Lot cheaper than the DR.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know? lot cheaper than going to Florida. No, it's great. They're
That's
like,
wild.
They're like, "Tits out for Trump, baby." You just walk. It's a sea of Trump flags, like 15,000, 20,000 people. And at one point, there's this lady, and she's like, she's in her car, and she's like, God, she's driving by, you know, she's in the passenger seat of the car, and we're in this big, like, you know, parade on each side of, like, the procession of cars, and she's about to pull her tits out, and this little kid runs up, he's like 9 years old, and he's got a GoPro on his helmet, on his head like this, and the little kid's got a GoPro on his head, he goes, yeah, and she's going, I can't do it. You're a kid, baby. You're too young, baby. And he goes, come on. I got it on camera. Like 10 years old. And she goes, I can't do it. You're too young. And he goes, swear to God, he goes, come on. Do it for Trump. And she goes, all right. And she pulls her tits out.
No.
Like, that was like... and like the kid's parents
Holy
are there.
shit,
They're like, oh,
dude.
that's great,
That
Timmy.
kid's a hell of a negotiator
It
already.
was great. Do it for Trump was
Yeah.
all. It really
At
he
10
didn't
years
need to
old,
offer money.
10 years old, he really knows how to cut to the heart of these people.
And I bet
Right,
you,
yeah.
I have a feeling if I talk to this kid, he's not even about the tits. He's like, I'm about the views, bro. I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
mad
Oh,
views.
He's too
1000%.
young. He's a sociopath.
Yeah.
He wants it. You know.
He's on top of his
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Yeah. He's building an OnlyFans portfolio.
How do you think Trump would respond to? Has he ever acknowledged the tits out for Trump
I think he
parade?
would do like a thumbs up.
Beautiful people. So many
Fantastic.
tits. The biggest, roundest tits we've ever seen.
I feel like he's
I wish him. I wish him all the
Love
best.
the tits. The kids love the tits. I wish them the best. You know, beautiful people down, good people on both sides. No, it's like, you do watch these people, and you're like, I can't describe to you guys how
Holy shit.
much Trump wants to be as far away from you as possible.
yeah.
like a multi-millionaire, like real
Oh,
estate
yeah.
tycoon. Like the last place he wants to be is on some dirty beach in Texas. Like, you know, fucking where fat people
Guys,
are
if
pulling
we
their
just do
tits
this-
out in his name.
If we do it every year, maybe our good godfather Donald Trump will come down and see us.
We've been hoping he's going to visit. We've given him the invite 4 years in a row. He's never left his house. But it's interesting.
Yo.
The thing, like, Trump is so different than any other president because, like, dude, people aren't fans of him like a politician. They're fans of him like a sports team.
Yeah, like a
They
yeah.
have chants. They have
That's a
parties
good
based
point.
around him. They rock his merch. They wear like Trump hat. Like they wear like little Trump masks. Like, look at me, I'm Trump. Like it's everyday guy. They got bobbleheads. Like they treat him like he's the New York Yankees.
Yeah, he's like a
That's
franchise,
actually a
yeah.
great point. I've never even thought because he's even bigger than like a celebrity. Like you would never wear like a Brad Pitt, mask,
No.
but you would. Yeah, people buy Trump memorabilia all the time, dude.
I'm a Buffalo Bills fan,
Yeah.
and I've been to Buffalo Bills games, and I've been to Trump rallies. The only difference is the team everyone's rooting for. It is.
So back on the fucking teacher thing, I got to tell this story. It's storytelling podcast.
Oh yeah, get
Yeah.
into it.
There was this teacher when I was in school. She was a substitute teacher, and she like came in. And she was literally. I still think of her as like one of the hottest people that I have ever come across. She
Yeah.
was so fucking hot. And there was this student. I won't use his real name because I don't know how much he wants this to be out here. We'll call him Brad. We'll just use Brad.
How
That's
old
the
were
guy.
you?
I'm probably 15 or 16 at the
Okay.
time.
Ooh,
I think
perfect.
I'm grade 11
Perfect age.
when this is
Oh
happening.
yeah, that's
Right?
Yeah. And Brad was gifted in like everything artistic. Like think sculpting, poetry. He played music. He rapped. Like everything. And she was like the arts teacher. She was engaged. And then her fiance cheated on her. And it like ruined her. And so she was like kind of fucking broken from this. And remember, smoking hot. And she started to find like solace in Brad's art.
Oh my god.
And the
Oh my
two
God.
just like grew closer and closer together. And then Brad ended up fucking this teacher. Not just fucking her, like fucking her consistently. Like they're starting to build a relationship to the point where I think it was like one of the English teachers like confronted him about it and was like, "Are you having a relationship with this teacher?"
which is actually backwards.
And he called her out, being like, "You can't fucking ask me this. I'll ruin your job." Like he fucking stood his ground.
You don't go to the student.
Yeah, the student, like, are you fucking this teacher?
You go to the,
my
what happened to go?
God.
That is so bizarre that they're like, hey, what are you doing, big guy?
Yeah.
You know she was in a vulnerable place. You're like, dude, I'm 16. I'm in a vulnerable. You know how horny you are at 16?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what he said. Like just getting like into.
I was
into
so
your
mad
really
at Brad
sex
all the way through
years.
that story. Everything you told me, I was like, I don't like him. Now I really don't like. 'cause
Yeah.
he's
You
just-
don't like Brad?
He's living the dream.
Oh, yeah, he's
There's
living
a little
the
bit of
dream. That is the dream.
I'm
That is
joking.
the
It's a
dream.
little jealousy though.
Oh yeah, And there was more than one account of this, but a different teacher. So there's another teacher, I can't remember what her name was. She kind of came into the school as I was in grade 12, she was a new teacher.
Oh my God.
Then so this all took place after I graduated, but the year younger than me, there was this one kid who was like fucking, I don't know, like 6'5", star in all the sports, like killing it. I heard this story that they started hooking up, and then they went to this like cottage, like her cottage, and they just like banged it out. Like he like fucked this teacher for like a weekend, then came back and like ghosted her on everything. And she apparently was like texting him like, well, you think you can like fuck me and just not talk to me anymore? Was like she got insecure.
Holy shit.
This like teenager she was fucking, like that would fuck up her whole life. And she was like upset about it. It's like, bro, you shouldn't be sending these messages, dude.
Dude, that kid is, for his age, he
incriminating
was
evidence.
stone cold at a young age.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like 16. He's like, I've been through this many times.
Like, you ain't nothing.
Holy
You think you're special?
Yeah,
Did
because that
anything-
lady, she's really losing in the teacher like predator game. Because the one thing you're supposed to have is control over this guy, and he's
got
just
nothing.
total disrespect for the whole game. She wouldn't even get any respect from the other predators. They'd be like, you're screwing this up for everybody.
Yeah, dude, you're on the bottom.
The whole thing is power dynamic, and you're really fucking.
And
it
the only
for
reason
us.
we joke about this on the pod is because, and this is just something I think everyone feels, when a young guy student is no one cares
No
that
one-
they're like, they're bringing up age. You're like, bro, no one thinks this kid's the victim.
No,
you know what I mean?
When it's a dude, never. Because we were all dudes, and we all remember what it was like to be a dude back then, and how fucking legendary it would be to pull something. like that.
In the
yeah.
dude, in the 80s, like even if you were a handicapped kid and like they found out the teacher was hooking up with him, dude, no one would care. They'd be like, there was the time. The parents would be on TV. They're like, it was the time of his life.
Wait. Say that again. Say that again.
Wait, from the whole beginning?
No, I kind of just was listening to you talk, and then I just processed what you said. You said even if the teacher was hooking up with a handicap,
Yeah, like it would have been fine up until these days. You know what I mean?
Wait, what?
Sometimes Mike says things, and you just
Dude,
go.
that's happened. You didn't know that? That's happened.
No, I've never
Oh yeah.
heard this
Oh yeah. I've heard of it.
So this is the 80s.
Yeah. Even into the 90s, I think it was fine. It's like now you.
I don't think it was ever fine.
maybe not
dude.
fine, but it was. No one was like. People would find out and they'd be like, "Hey, look at him. He's
It was frowned upon.
It's at the time of his life." To be honest, it's like that movie with the man where she buys her a prostitute. The kid with he's got the elephant face and she buys him a prostitute.
Oh yeah,
But then he's mad because he thought it was like
because he thought
he didn't know it was a prostitute.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Looking back,
But it's like, bro, get what
but she just walked into your living. You should have asked some questions.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, we had a former guest who had a similar story about almost hooking up with a teacher, and we posted a clip about it. It went very well, went super viral. Dude, it had like thousands of comments. Half of the comments were, "You are a victim, and I'm so sorry for you." And half of the comments were, "You're the fucking man." And I can tell you, every single guy was like, "You're the fucking man." Every single woman was like, "You're a victim and need to be protected."
And a lot of liars. You get the liar straight up.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, dude, you're lying.
This is a lie.
No.
Dude, yeah. Because people don't want to believe it. People don't want to believe that that's a reality.
Whatever happened with both of those situations?
I think with the Brad one, I think they dated for a while after. They might even still be together.
Oh my God.
That happens.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
After the pod, I need to see a picture of this teacher.
Oh yeah. Well, see,
need-
I can dig it up. I haven't I didn't have any connection to her, followed her on social or anything, or have looked it up in a while. The other one, I have no clue where it went after that. After her little meltdown.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Holy shit.
What was the other?
I would never. He was telling some stories about, have you ever taken too much of an edible?
Yeah, but I've always kind of been fine on the edibles. Like they never bothered me too much to where I was too whacked out. I'll tell you what, he gave me some mushrooms though, a few bags of mushrooms, and I went to a party to his place, and there was asking everybody for mushrooms all night. It's time to leave.
Yeah.
Nobody had them for me. Then they all come through at the same time. Dude, I had a fat zip of mushrooms,
Yeah.
dude. Whole summer's worth. And I didn't realize they're different strengths, so I'm eating 3 of one kind, and I'm cool. I'm
God.
I'm normal on them. I could communicate with people. And then I get to the next bag, and I'm thinking they're all the same strengths. These ones were even smaller, so I'm thinking, they're probably weaker. I had 3 of them whacked, dude. Like, not even on planet Earth no more.
Oh, my God.
I was telling Mike, and he knew about them, the blue mushrooms.
Penis envy mushrooms.
Right.
It's like, dude.
Dude, I never even knew you could get this whacked out on mushrooms. And I had to go to work. I'm building an IKEA dresser. And I'm telling you, dude, the screws are bending. The girl opened up the door. She's like, something about your face. I don't feel comfortable, dude. I was like, she kept asking me if I'm all right.
Oh, my
Dude, I
God.
looked in the mirror. I'm like, I just geeked, man.
It's like
I'm smacking stuff. I thought I seen bugs. I'm like, can you put your cat away? She's like, I don't have one. I said, I apologize. I'm sorry it took so many hours. Dude, I close out the bill. Building a dresser is supposed to take an hour and a half. And I'm there. It's getting dark out. And I'm like, I'll take time off. I'm sorry it took all day. She's like, you were here 1 hour, dude.
Oh, man.
Felt like I was there 6 hours, dude.
Oh.
Can you imagine her story? She tells that story to people. She doesn't use that service anymore because of you.
I was never so whacked.
She has no idea that it's mushrooms either. She probably thinks it's much worse.
Just like on heroin and crack at the same time.
Dude, I was whacked.
I can only imagine.
I threw them all away. I never did hallucinogen sense.
But I can tell you another drunk story.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you want to hear it? Or you guys
Oh,
want to
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
So
That's what the pod is.
Yeah,
We're just
okay,
chatting
cool.
it up. I love it.
Okay, so my off the boat friend Jonathan Hederman, who's a crazy person. I used to hang out with him all the time. I love him, but he's used to be. Now he's married with a kid and all this. And we used to go to the bars in Midtown, and we went to a bar. I forget the name of the bar, but it was like Irish place, and we go in there, and we're both kind of drunk already, so you're kind of like doing your own thing. We're probably trying to find girls and stuff. I'm probably 24 years old, 25 years old, whatever it is, right? And we're in the bar, and then I come back over, and I think he was like, "Come on, this sucks. Let's get out of there." And what he didn't tell me is he tried to talk to this girl, and she kind of like shut him down, and she was really shitty to him, and he was really drunk, right?
Yeah.
So we get by the door, and I'm like, this place kind of sucks, whatever. Let's go somewhere else. And he's like, wait, do me a favor. He goes, stand by the door and hold it open with your foot. He goes, just hold it open with your foot like you're looking for me inside the bar. And I go, why? He goes, please, just do it. And I'm like, fine. And I actually didn't know it was going to happen.
Okay.
And I do it, and I kind of hold the door. I hold the door with my foot, and I'm looking in, like, past the bouncer and whoever else, like looking to see if I see my fake friend or whatever it is. He goes back in. Out of nowhere, he, like a bullet, darts by me, right? And then, like, right after him, like 4 meatheads just, like, run out right after him. So I'm like, I shouldn't have done this. And I let the door go, and I'm like, do. I just start walking away around the corner.
No.
And so as it turns out, he walked over to that same girl, grabbed her full beer, and just dumped it on top of her head, right? Oh. Just an asshole move, right? And just dumps it on top. And then he just darts out of there, darts out of the place.
my
And these
God.
guys chase right after him. And I'm like, well, they don't know I'm part of this. So I'm just like, I'm going around the corner, right? Out of nowhere, 2 dudes. It must have been 2 of those dudes just come up in front of me because they must have chased him. They couldn't get him. They come up in front of me, and they're like, what's up, man? And I'm like, what's up? I'm thinking they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up? And they're like, where's your friend? And I'm like, what friend? I go, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. And then right at that moment, I noticed like 2 other dudes come behind them. Right? And then one of the other guys is like on his phone. And this is how long ago. It was like T9 texting like his
We
friend
got him.
feverishly, right?
Yeah.
Going like this. And then he's like, that was really messed up, man. Really messed up. And I go, I don't know what you're talking about, man. 2 more dudes come over from the bar. Probably the friend in the bar.
Yeah.
2 more dudes come over. Whatever it is. It's probably like at this point like 6 dudes. And they're like, it's messed up. They're texting all these people. That's really fucked up, man. Your friend left you. It's really messed up. He left you here to like deal with this. I go, what are you talking about, man? And then they start getting closer and closer. They're like, that dude you were with, we know you were with him. I go, I met him tonight, man. I know what you're talking about. I'm like, I met him tonight. I know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. More, I would say at the end of it, like 10 dudes were like surrounding.
Holy
right?
shit.
At this point, out of the corner of my peripheral, I see right next to the group of dudes. I'm like trying to explain I go, I don't know who the guy was, man. What happened? And then they told me about the beer. And I go, I don't know what to tell you. I met this guy tonight. He seemed like a nice guy. I'm stammering. And then this yellow taxi pulls up right next to them. And it's my friend Jonathan in the back. And he's texting me. I can feel my phone buzzing in my pocket. And I'm shutting it off with my finger while I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Because the minute I would have turned and looked in the taxi, they just would have pounced on the taxi. taxi.
yeah.
So I look over, and the way it was set up, I could see him waving me and going, come on, like in the, come on, let's go, like this. And I'm like, no, the minute I turn and they see him, they're going to come. So I'm like, how do I get out of this? Like the taxi's still there. I go, how do I get out of this and get my ass not kicked? And I'm like, oh, I know what I can do. And I just decided to go into like berserker mode. I just went like this. Like it was all like lacrosse player type dudes, right? And I was very, very nervous. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry I did that to you. That's messed up, man. But I'm sorry. And then I'm like, if I just go the opposite of that. So I don't know where I go. And it was at this point it was building up. The tension was building up. I don't know. I go, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, man. I don't know the guy. I go, did I spill a beer on your girlfriend? Did I do it? I go, what the fuck, man? He goes, no, you didn't do it. And they kind of like were like realized I had nothing
this
to do
guy's
with
a
it.
lunatic.
And well, not even like I was gonna fight them, but more like I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? You want me to go beat the guy myself? I'm saying all these rambling things, and they're like, no, it's just really messed up. He did it to my friend's girl, man. He's like, and I go, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't do it. Did I do it, bro? And I'm freaking out, and they go, no, and I go, I'm sorry it happened to you. I go, all right, good luck, and I just walked away, and they're like, all right, man, all right. Like, and I'm like, oh yeah, but I didn't. Once again, I don't think they thought I was gonna kick their ass.
Oh my god!
I just think they thought like, oh yeah, we can't beat up this kid for not doing anything.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And then I think I found my friend. Like we texted
Holy
later
shit.
on. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god,
dude! They were just like closing in, and I was like, oh, what if I just go nuts and just start screaming like they are, and then just to get out of this, and it worked. I couldn't believe it worked. I thought they were gonna be like they were just gonna punch me the minute I started yelling.
Dude, that is wild.
Isn't that funny?
That's a great story, dude. Dude, I was on the edge of my seat, man.
I like you were saying like when did I think that I had like a heavy drinking problem? I want to say I was like 26, 27 and I woke up at my ex-girlfriend's house who was at this Memorial Day party with me. So I was like, "Oh, maybe we just went back." Oh boy. Right? And she calls me because she had to go to work and she's like we're going to have to talk about what happened last night. I get a call from my neighbor and that says, "Hey, there's some guy sleeping on your stoop."
Yo.
I got hammered, left the party, went up, slept on her stoop. She dragged me into the house, and she was like 98 pounds. She was like maybe like 100 pounds, and I'm way a little more than that.
Yeah, you weigh 101. You weigh 105.
But like
She's 98. I'm 105. You know,
Yeah,
there's a weight difference.
I mean, yes, it's her pulling her own body weight. That's tough. Yeah. But she was like I went from immediately thinking, oh, maybe I got a little action from the ex last night to, yeah, my whole neighborhood saw you sleeping on my steps on Memorial Day.
Dude, that happened. That happened in my neighborhood. My mom, our neighbor, her like boyfriend got wicked drunk one night and was like out in the street like with his shirt off, like screaming, and the neighbor's mom, who's kind of older, went out to try to calm him down or whatever, and then like my mom found him passed out on our front lawn like the next morning.
Oh, on your lawn?
Yeah. That's tough.
Did she have to wake him up?
Yeah. She woke him up, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and just like walked home. You know, listen.
Well, at least she was cool and didn't like call the po.
No, my mom would. You know, no, I'll wake up. That's okay. Go on home. Do you want a water?
We went out boozing like years after college at one of my good buddies' house, like a bar down the street. And then he goes, "Why don't we just go crash at my parents' house instead of anybody driving anywhere? They live right around the corner." I haven't seen his parents in like 10 years, you know? So we go in there, and somehow these two dudes I'm with forget about me, and they leave. They like got a lift somewhere else. And I wake up the next morning to my buddy Tommy's parents waking me up on their couch like, Ray Zawodni? What are you doing here?
Is the kid there that lives there?
Gone. He left.
Oh,
he didn't
bro.
even live there. He lived like in the city. This is at his parents' house in the suburbs. The three of us went back there, and they both bounced on us because they forgot I was there. We were all so drunk, and I wake up hungover, and instead of like being nice, I'm like, "Yo, leave me alone," because I didn't think they bailed on me. I was like, "Get out of here!" I was like, "I'm good." They were like, "Where's Tom? Somebody's shoes are outside."
Oh my
My buddy Mitch left his shoes outside, and they just like come downstairs to this dude they haven't seen in 10 years, just my fucking fat drunk ass, my butt cracks probably hanging out on their couch, and I'm not being nice.
Oh, the amount, if I was a dad in that situation in my house, the amount of rage that would be going. Luckily they knew you, but like in my own house, this guy's basically like, "Yo, F off, come back later." the fact that your friend left his shoes lets me know, like, this was a drunk crew.
Oh,
Like, he leaves his shoes and gets in the Uber. Where's he going?
It
with
was
no
a shit
shoes on?
show. They went to a girl's house down the street because they wanted to keep partying. I think they even
okay.
like went in her window. She was like, "Yo, I'm sleeping," and I'm just there. I must have went to sleep right away.
Yeah.
You know, right on the couch, and then
Dude, that's a nightmare.
oh, dude, I was so embarrassed because like after like the initial hangover wore off, I was like, "Yo, please, like, can I apologize? Can I send them a note? Can I send them a card?" And I heard them frantically. They didn't know what happened because they just see shoes there. They keep calling Tommy, and he must not be answering. They're like, "Tom, Ray Zawodni's on our couch. He doesn't seem like he's feeling well."
I think he has the flu.
This buddy of mine, the kid who was blowing up ATMs,
Yeah.
he was drinking and driving one night, which was like every night, and the cops were pulling him over, but he had already lost the tire, so he's going on a rim. He's just riding on a rim,
Sparks flying.
still drinking.
Yeah.
And then my friend sees him. He starts throwing bags of drugs out the window. Dude, they arrest this kid. He doesn't remember anything. I think I bailed him out in the morning. They charged him with nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
serious?
I'm like, dude, he evaded the cops. He was driving drunk, throwing drugs out the window. This type of stuff would happen to this kid all the time. You're like, why did they let him go? I think they
Yeah.
just didn't want to deal with him. They're like, he's such a... He would be one of these guys, you probably know about this. He would go immediately into the cell. He'd take his underwear off, jam it in the sink, and then he'd flood the cell out.
Yeah.
And then he'd pretend. Then he'd try to fake kill himself.
Yeah.
I remember one morning I came in and I go, "Is so and so here?" They go, "Get him out of here." The cop, you could see it in his face. He was so mad. He didn't sleep all night because this kid never stopped, and he's a talker. Just
Yeah.
yaps.
Oh, that's
Yep. Oh yeah, I've seen guys like that.
Immediate drama. Just
Yep.
he doesn't wait a couple minutes. He's just like gets in. It's like routine. Just like boom, take your
Yep.
boxes
And then,
off.
like, clink,
flood
clink,
the
clink,
cell.
clink, clink, clink on the bars. Yeah.
and then
Your
all of a
host.
sudden,
One time
you know,
I was
giving
smoking
out
a
handies on the
joint
corner.
with comics when
Yeah.
I first moved here.
Okay.
And I was nervous and I immediately dropped the joint on the ground and everybody was like, oh my God. And I was like, this is really humiliating. And I was the first person to spark it up and then I passed it. And the guy who had rolled it, I was like, that tasted really good. Like, what strain is it? And he was like, oh, I'm not really sure, but I did sprinkle a little H in there. And I
Are you
was like,
fucking kidding me?
it was a joke, but I didn't know that, and I was so determined not to be uncool that I was like, yeah, no, for sure. I gotta go, and this was at the Tiny Cupboard, so I was like pretty close to home, but
Yo.
as I was sprinting through Bushwick, because I was like, I gotta get home before the H hits, because I'm not gonna be slumped down in this neighborhood. But I woke up and I had fallen asleep on top of my sheets with all my clothes on, like my winter jacket and everything. And then the next day he was like, it was a joke, and I was like, well, the placebo heroin effect was pretty intense.
Dude, that sounds like it might have actually been laced.
I would have been, I would have had a straight up, I would have gone to the ER probably. Steak.
Speaking of wasting taxpayers' money, you asked me if I got arrested. Queens Narcotics raided my mom's house. This is after I got thrown out of my mom's house for kicking the shit out of my uncle for going to my weed stash.
And how old are you at this time?
I was like 20, and I had plenty of money, but I didn't have a W-2, so I had to just fucking. I had to move into a garage, converted into a room with no kitchen, filling up water bottles in the shower. And then I got thrown out of that house. I had to move back home because I got arrested at this girl's school in the University of Hartford. They tried hanging me because of the Commonwealth fucking promoting the drug factory because I had a scale and baggies, all this other shit.
That's what you got arrested at the school for?
Yeah,
Weed?
so that cost me like $35,000 to get a fucking lawyer for that. So I had to move home, and I don't know who I was selling shit, but I didn't sell it to anyone like that. I don't know who set me up or why the Queens Narcotics came, but they stopped my brother, who looked a little bit like me. So I'm like, oh, so they're watching me. So I started taking the coke and going. I live on the beach. I'd go on the other side of where I thought the property line was. This lady Marie, this older lady, and I would dig a hole and then bury it in the sand. I was that paranoid, or hiding it in a soft cooler in this like summer house outside washer dryer shit to keep everything out. And I'm like, oh, so it was like a little snake maze. I knew everywhere, so I would ride my bike and not go to the main part where you would park your car because it's right on the beach. And I'm like, all right, I know ways around this. And then fucking came home one day after fucking partying, getting a haircut. I would do blow and just drink and get a haircut, put on a show. Yeah. And they came running out like 21 Jump Street guy with a ponytail. And I had like the Nextel work phone, the big black one. And I had the North Face. Like, what is that? I don't know, maybe white privilege. I didn't get shot because it looks like a butt end of a gun. Those big old Nextel black work phones. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they're like, "Where's the shit? We're gonna fucking destroy your mom's home." My mom's in there just like washing her hands, cleaning me. My aunt dying of cancer. The neighbor that stopped by. I just felt so embarrassed. I'm like, officer, I know you hear this all the time, but I got 10 bags of weed there. I just got a haircut. I was gonna come home, drink some beer, and watch The Family Guy. And there'd probably be 6 bags if you came later. And they charged me with disorderly conduct because they had such egg on their face because it was like a big production and I got nothing because I was on to them. I hit everything outside the house.
Wow,
But my mom threw me out anyway.
Holy shit. Dude, that's fucking damn. So they never caught. What did they call it? What did they charge you with disorderly for?
I was very orderly. They needed to charge me with something. And
did that get thrown out as soon as you?
Yeah, it was a release on ROR, and I paid like maybe like a $200 fine or whatever it was. It was because they had such egg on it because it wasn't the 100 precinct, the local. It was the Queens Narcotics. You know what I mean? They came down. They felt so stupid. It's one of my shining moments in life.
I was always told. I was told if you want to get away with dealing drugs, deal on weekends only.
Really?
Yeah,
I never heard that.
A lot of the units don't work on weekends.
I had a show one night over there on Bleecker and Sullivan, and I had like, a couple barkers out there, and I would every like 20 minutes go, how many tickets you got? I'm treating it like we're fucking selling crack. You know what I mean? Like, what do you got? What's the count? You know what I mean? And one of the comics was getting harassed by the student. He was dressed fine. He had one of those really expensive bikes, and then he was like, he was pulling out like he had a little spray bottle, and he's like, "You want to get sprayed? You want to get sprayed?" He was saying this to one of the comics, and I got in between them. I was like, "Yo, man, just go." He's like, "I don't want to turn my back on this guy." I was like, if he tries to attack you while you walk away, I will protect you." And then he turned his attention to me, and he like harassed me from block to block. Dude, I kept moving. And then he'd ride by on his bike. He spit at me, called me a faggot. I'm like, "Oh, dude, you checked 2 boxes already."
The spit is the one that gets to me, man.
Faggot really irked my bones.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? I was like, ew. But the spit is very bad.
Yeah, spit in my face, I don't care.
Yeah, then it would have been 2. I would have counted that as 2. So at first when I'm walking away, I'm talking because I do a lot of work on myself to like keep my chin above water. I gotta stay clean. I gotta work a program. I'm not like this crazy violent dude, but I used to be able to get things I wanted by being aggressive. Either with my body language or physically. So I'm walking away and I'm like, "You should be so proud of yourself, Derek." Like I'm doing my bad. I hit the. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
I'm doing like that positive self-talk.
Yeah.
And then finally I'm like, "All right, you can't walk away again, pal." Like you're starting to look soft. And then I'm standing across the street from the shop and it's like me and a couple other comics. And then he's yelling, he's going, "Yo, pussy, you fucking pussy, you bitch." And I'm getting mad. And the other comics are like, "Dude, he's not talking to you, he's just crazy." And he goes, "Yeah, I'm talking to you," in the yellow hoodie. And they're like, "Oh, he is talking to you." And then I just ran over to him and I like fucking karate kicked him in the face. Like, and I'm older now. Like I didn't know I could still do things like that. I like launched into the air. I hit him square in the face. We both go to the ground and he's getting up quicker than me. I'm like, holy shit. And then 2 other comics run over. They start binging him up. Bing, 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 bing. He runs into a building. That's right there. And the fucking, the doorman is like, sir, please leave, please leave. He's trying to get him out. And then he pokes his head out. He goes, "Yo, guys, I dropped my phone. Can I come out and get it?"
To you?
So there was 4 of us. And we give him his phone back. And as soon as we give him his phone back, he's like, "Y'all pussy, man. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all jump me. I'll fuck all you up one-on-one." And I was so like upset. I was like, "I'll fight you. I'll give you the one-on-one right now." And we did the one-on-one. And dude, I was fucking teeing off on this guy. And I could not hurt him.
Really? Was he big or was he?
He was probably like 6'1", 6'2".
Okay, that's pretty big.
Damn.
Yeah. I remember one point, my other comic friend, I turned around. He's holding a cinder block. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that? Like, it's just, he's like, back off, because he kept going in his pocket. So
Holy shit.
The guy was definitely hopped up on something.
Yeah.
Because, like, couldn't. My hand still hurts from that.
Jesus.
It's happened like 2 months ago.
Yeah. Holy shit.
But, dude, a lot of people who are out there, like, I've only barked twice, and both times that's happened, or any time I've ever had anything to do with barking, I got into a physical altercation.
We like played poker like 3 or 4 months into the pandemic, and Chicago was probably the same here. No one on the streets, nothing. So I was like, I'll walk home, and it's a pretty safe neighborhood too. Like it was like a 20-minute walk home at like 4 a.m. I'm like blacked out though, really drunk, wearing like my fake Beats, listening to music, and this guy starts walking up next to me, some like lanky white dude. He looked just like Jay and Silent Bob, whichever one the tall one was. Looked just like him. And I'm like, oh, I'm so naive. I'm just like, it's just a guy out for a walk, whatever, no big deal. I just keep la, whatever. And then he like fucking jumps in front of me, like, give me your wallet. And even before he touches me, I fall down. I fall down and me like, and like I think later I broke my wrist, I found out. And then I'm bleeding everywhere. He never touches me the whole time. I'm just like, well, what do you want? I'm just like such a little baby immediately. Like I probably could have at least put up a fight. He was pretty like skinny and shit. And then he's like asking, give him my phone. He's like, where's your wallet? Where's your fucking wallet? And I'm like, I don't have a wallet. I just carry around like loose. I just carry around my credit card in my pocket back then. I don't know why, but
that's lucky, dude.
No, it was lucky. And he's just like kept being like, where's your wallet? I'm like, I don't have a wallet. And where's your wallet? I don't have a wallet. He's like, everyone has a fucking wallet, dude. And then he like says like he has a gun. I don't know if he did or not. I didn't want to take the chase.
You should have asked to see it.
I should have. Yeah, can I check it out?
See it?
Yeah. I've never seen a gun. Yeah.
I'd love to see your gun. What kind?
Yeah. And he's like saying he's going to shoot me if I don't give him my wallet. And then I eventually have to fucking turn my pockets out like a middle school bully. Like, no, I gave him like a couple dimes or whatever. And then I thought it was over. I'm like bleeding. I like think my wrist is broken, and then I walk away, and then I'm like 50, 70 feet away, and he calls out like, "Yo, dude, come back here. I need your help for something." And then I'm such a little fucking bitch that
Are you kidding me, dude?
I turned her back around. I was like, I gotta help my good friend. Gotta help him out. I didn't want him to gun me down, or he probably could have hit me. There's no way. So I turn around and go back, and we were sitting on this stoop in front of this residential house, and he's like, I need help factory resetting your phone. Like he didn't know
Geoffrey.
how to do it. And I helped the guy do it. He just broke my wrist, and I'm like, oh, that's good pal.
This makes me so angry.
I know.
This makes me so upset, dude.
It's really, it took like 20 minutes because like it takes a while to factory reset your phone, and we just like fucking talked. We just like did like small talk for like 15 minutes.
This is going to be in a Trump commercial running for president. He's like, I got to get in to help guys like this.
Yeah. We need to help these cucks.
Can you not help yourself? Vote for Trump.
Yeah. Will you help your mugger? Classic Democrat.
He didn't. How long ago? This was during the pandemic?
This was during the pandemic, like the summer 2020.
Can he get into your Venmo and everything?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Well, but he couldn't because I factory reset my phone.
Dude. Oh. Okay.
So it actually ended up being good, but that was not the reason I did it. I was just a little bitch. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
And then he's like telling me like, oh, sorry, I mugged you. My like wife has cancer or something. And I'm like, yeah, dude, totally.
You know what he should have been like? Well, like, what's your name, dude? And gotten to know him and then go to the police.
Right. Oh, God, that's such a good idea. I never even thought
of
it.
Dude, the heroes of the city.
Well, it was funny because it was like 2 weeks after all the protests that I'd been to, like, hey, cab, die, pig, die. And then I'm like, I can't call the cops now. I mean, I don't have a phone if I wanted to, but I'm like, they'd be like, weren't you the guy saying we all deserve to get raped? I'm like, no, that wasn't me. Come on.
That was the guy who looked exactly like me.
Yeah, different white guy. Come on.
That makes me so upset.
Yeah, it was really. And then as I was walking away, he yelled out, if you ever want Coke, hit me up.
Out in Australia at the time, and I was in this town called Monteau, which is like a few hours west of Bundaberg, right? Which is a few hours north of Brisbane. So like it's out there, right?
Yeah.
And it was a town of I think like 1,000 people, maybe 800, and basically when I got to Australia, I had a friend who was like, you can live with me and I can get you a job, and I was like, all right, cool. And I got there and she was like, my roommates actually don't want another roommate, and I didn't realize there was a slow season, so I like can't get you work. And I had $1,000, right?
Holy shit.
And so the roommates were nice enough to be like, we'll give you like 10 days or something. And so
That's nice.
yeah. So then I was like panicked, right? So I'm like applying to all these places. I'm trying to figure it out. Cause like I don't have enough for a deposit on anything. Like I can't like rent a room. And so one of the roommates actually was like, there's a hotel where they take backpackers, and I think they pay for like food and board or whatever.
It's not bad.
And so I called, and the woman was like, if you can get here, you can have the job. And so I was like, all right, sweet. There's one bus a week that goes out there on Thursdays from Bundaberg. So I was like, I got to get there. And it's like $400 a week plus, free food and board. And you work at a bar, so you get to drink too. And so it was kind of sick, dude. So I get there, and I'm like, it's so sketchy. I'm the only guy on the bus, right? At one point, the guy's like, the bus driver's like, all right, well, I'm gonna let's stop and get lunch, or let's stop and get dinner. It's like getting dark, and he like pulls up. We sit at the bar together. There's like, it's very weird.
It's like, hey man, you're the bus driver, not my new friend.
But it was such a remote place where it's like, it would have been weirder if I was like, let's go sit at different tables, And so, and that was like the last, like where we stopped was like the last big town before we got to the little town, right?
Holy shit.
And so then we go out, and finally he drops me off at the bottom of the hill, and he's like, all right, I'm going to continue on, I think the Albert, where the hotel I was working at, is just up the hill. And so he's like, see where the light is? That's the hotel. And so there's not like, it felt like a scene, out of The Exorcist, where there's just like that one lamppost on.
Yeah.
You're in, God knows where I am at this point. And there's no one around. There's no like people being like, oh, it's a very quiet place. And so I walk up there. They're like, there's a couple people at the bar, and they're like, oh, you've made it. You're good. And I was like, so grateful. I had $15 left. So I was like, yes, dude. It was amazing, right? And then my first night goes super poorly. Like I black out, and this is the second night. Second night I was there. So when you're new backpacker, the town is excited. They're like, ooh, I was the first American they'd had in like 10 years, something like that. And so they were like,
really making a good name for us there, Jack.
Yeah, dude. So I get fucked up the second night, right? And it's right after I serve all the guys at the bar. They've got like a little rugby club, and they all come in. I get them all fucked up, and then I go. They are like, "Oh, come back to our place after you close up." I'm like, "No problem." I go up. I get blacked out. I start like stealing their beers, right?
Stop, dude. Second night there.
Yes, I'm wasted, and then I freaking broke into like the bar's pantry, and I like ate like all these chips that like. I'm like making a very bad first impression.
Oh,
very
God,
bad,
dude. Yeah.
And so there's like chips everywhere. It's like a mess. And it was just it was not good. The next day, Diane, who runs the place, we become very close by the end, but she was like, mate, I don't know what the hell was going on with that. We're not doing that shit and all this stuff. She was pissed. And then the rugby club guys start coming in and they're like, buddy, we'll fucking bury you out here if you talk to us like that again, like all this shit. And I was like, God. I was just blacked out. I was like, I don't know, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my
But I was
God.
scared, dude. I was sweating. I was so panicked. It was like a horrible feeling because I knew if they knew me, they would like me. Like if we got to hang out, we would have fun. But they're like really like, fuck this guy, Yeah. So it takes a little bit of time. A couple weeks go by. I've become pretty close with everybody. And then I'm like, we're friends. I'm like shooting the shit. They're like the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Mm-hmm.
One time they brought me out to skin a sheep, and like you would have loved this guy. This like 70-year-old guy in the outback. He's basically just like asking me questions about foreign policy. He's like, hey, why don't they just fucking nuke the whole Middle East, mate? We'd be fine out here. They should just nuke it and start over. I was like, you know what? I'm going to save your number. There's a guy I meet in 3 years that will love you.
Oh, I'm totally not on board with this.
And then, so nonetheless, though, I'm getting invited to like these little parties, and there's a couple of the guys on this team in this town that are like, they're intense, right? They're intense dudes, and there's this one kid who's like, he scares the hell out of me. When he gets drunk, he gets that glazed look where he's like, he might stab you, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm terrified of him, but I befriend, which is kind of my go.
Classic.
Yeah, I befriend. And so he starts inviting me over to his place after, and I'm like scared to say no. So I'm going over there. And then, dude, we're just getting drunk one night. And I'd heard he does drugs, and I was interested. And so then he like pulls out this like glass pipe, and he's like, do you wanna smoke this? And I'm like, well, what is it? And I'm like wasted at this point too. And he's like, well, it's crack. And I was like, okay. And dude, I had to admit, like immediately when I saw like the smoke like coming into the little like the little bottle at the end, or what the little glass pipe thing, and it like hit my lungs immediately. I was like, oh, this is wild. I was like, my life is getting out of control. I really felt that, like, wow, my life is really getting out of control. And then, you know, I just get fucked up. I smoke a couple more times with him during that night. And then the next day I wake up, because then I just get like fucking wasted, right? I just end up getting like.
So it didn't sober you up?
No, dude, I was drunk as hell. So I smoked it, and yeah, I did for a little bit, but then I just kept getting drunker and drunker. Because they kind of knew too. I was like, I might not sleep for a week, so I better get going. And so nonetheless, I wake up the next day, and I am deathly sick. I am like, I couldn't make it downstairs to work the pub. My friend, who was also a backpacker, she had to work my shift.
Wow.
And I'm like throwing up everywhere. I have like hives, and I'm like, this is the worst I've ever felt. I'll never do that again. I'll never do it again. I start to feel better throughout the day. I drank like 3 or 4 beers, and immediately I went back to his house, and we smoked again that night. And then I think we did like a couple more after that, but I was pretty sure at that point, I was like, when I get home, I'm probably going to have to reconsider my life.
Oh, wow. I thought in Australia, but I could be wrong, I thought drugs were like super illegal.
They are. So I just met with the owner of the pub. She was in New York recently.
Yeah.
And I was asking about all the different, how are the guys at the pub? And like literally every person I asked, she was like, they're doing terrible. And I asked about that kid, and she was like, oh yeah, mate, he's in jail. Jail for a couple years now. And so it's very bad.
Did she tell you what he did?
I think it was drug stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a joke down from what I can hear.
I could have been in trouble, but then again, dude, we're in a town of there was one cop for like a giant territory, like hundreds and hundreds of miles, right? Damn. And I remember there was a bar fight one night, and I called the cop because it was like getting out of hand. And I called the cop, and he's like, "Oh well, I'm a couple hours out, so if you could just wait till tomorrow, I can come do a report then." I was like, so, they're beating each other. Like, what do you want me to do? You know?
They're beating each other.
Yeah. My glasses got knocked off. I sounded like the kid from My Girl. I was like, my glasses! My glasses! He can't see without his glasses.
Oh, such a bad movie. All right, that's the episode, folks. Thank you for listening. I hope you had a good holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays. Whatever you celebrate, we hope you had a good one. Ring in the new year in a couple days with a nice glass of champagne. Hey, cheers to the Troublemakers podcast, huh? We're looking forward to what we got going on this next year. We hope that you'll be listening with us. We dig it. Again, rate, review, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram if you don't already. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, whatever you want to do. And again, if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, give that 5 stars, baby. It takes 2 seconds. Just go on down, leave a little comment. We love you for it. And that's pretty much it. We'll see you next week. We'll be back with a brand new episode, brand new guest. All right? Good night, baby.